Okay, y'all didn't even hear my intro. You just heard like a minute and a half of silence. It's all good though. It's all good. It's all good. I don't even know what to say anymore. We're here. It's Tough Talks with Thili and Dablock. What up? What up? Oh my goodness! Anybody who's listening for that first minute, I appreciate it. They probably like, what's going on? I don't hear anything. No, man. Oh gosh. Because I usually started with the mics open, so. You know?
Well, yeah, it's usually right after the other show.
Oh man, that's how my week's been. That's basically how my week's been. Yep.
Yeah.
Same here.
Same here.
Yeah, man. I don't know, rookie mistakes and all kinds of blunders, but it's okay because I bring the thunder.
Speaking of thunder, we're coming up on AEW starting up in like 2 months, eh?
Yep.
It's gonna be insane. Well, I think we have a little bit of AEW stuff to go over, but we'll go over that later. Do you want to start up with getting us through Raw and SmackDown?
Okay, let me find the Raw recap. Let me find the Raw recap for July 29th.
Yep.
And oh yes, I remember this. Who won the 24/7 championship on Raw? Little Rock, Arkansas. It was all but assured that something wild would go down in the first ever Mosh Pit mixed tag team match, in which the 24/7 champion R-Truth teamed with Carmella to defend his title against Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle. And sure enough, the bout lived up to its unique name when the 24/7 hopefuls, who had surrounded the ring in anticipation of the match's end, made the move once Truth pinned Maverick to retain his title. What followed wasn't so much a mosh pit as a dog pile, as the eagle-eyed referee made the count and recorded the victory for Mike Kanellis. The new champion grabbed his title and darted up the ramp, but quickly found he wouldn't get a moment's peace, not from the mob, and certainly not from his wife Maria. After Mike holed up in his locker room, Maria convinced him to let her in by identifying with some truly emasculating insults and twisting the knife even deeper, forcing her husband to lie on the ground in yet another display of her dominance so she could pin him with one foot. Maria gleefully strutted out of the locker room, accurately proclaiming herself to be the first pregnant 24/7 champion and therefore all but untouchable by the would-be title holders in the locker room, unless they wanted to pin her in her forthcoming OBGYN appointment. Judging by the expression of the faces of Titus O'Neil, EC3, Heath Slater, and the like, they had finally stumbled upon a line they weren't ready to cross. And the question is now, if you want to be 24/7 champion, how do you solve a problem like Maria? No fucking way. That's what I missed?
Well done.
Wow.
Well done.
Okay, WWE. Wow.
Yeah, who wrote this? I gotta scroll to the bottom and see who wrote that gem. That's genius.
I just drank straight sugar crystals because I forgot to shake up my lemonade.
You madman. Anthony Benigno,
Benigno.
who usually writes it. Yeah, like that. Good for him.
Where do you see the name? I don't see the name.
Put that in. What?
I don't see the name on the Raw app, the WWE app.
Oh yeah, it's at the very bottom of the thing on my on the website anyway. But yeah, this was hilarious. Maria Kanellis becoming the first ever pregnant champion and the new 24/7 champion is genius. They've been teasing. I can't remember. Drake Maverick was teasing that he is desperate enough that he will absolutely try to pin Maria Kanellis. I think there was a couple girls who also said that they would pin her. So we'll see where they go with this. If it's going to be a women's title for a little bit with this, or if it's going to go back to a dude. Like it's once again 24/7 championship is just absolutely brilliant.
It's a brilliant idea. It's like a step down from the hardcore title.
Yeah.
But it's still the same hype as it.
Yeah, absolutely. I might even argue more hype just because of how sporadic they've been with it and how often they've been showing it off in different places and like not just WWE programming but showing it off in on IGN at E3 and like going out random places and like having matches on planes and
the hotel match. Yeah,
like it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is true. All right. AJ Styles AJ Styles. Blah. I'm smoking the blunt right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me. AJ Styles challenger set for SummerSlam following Epic Gauntlet match. It's legal here.
Fuck yeah, it is.
So Ricochet is headed to SummerSlam once again challenge AJ Styles, and you can't say he didn't earn the opportunity. The former and possibly future United States champion was the last man standing in a gauntlet match that featured Rey Mysterio, Cesaro, Andrade, and Sami Zayn. A who's who of Raw's most hard-working, under-the-radar superstars, all of whom have been circling the U.S. title picture for some time. Despite the poetic justice that's now on the table for Ricochet, it seemed like it might be Rey Mysterio's night after the former champion defeated Cesaro and Sami Zayn in the first 2 stages of the gauntlet. The ultimate underdog somehow survived the brutal onslaught from Cesaro and surprised Zayn with a flash pin, but the combined effort left him too drained to surpass the fresh Andrade. I say Andrade for some reason. The former NXT champion heaped disrespect upon Mysterio after his victory, tearing the legend's mask off his face before Ricochet came to Rey's rescue. For all his swagger, however, Andrade's confidence proved to be premature. Ricochet withstood everything Andrade threw at him and soared to victory with a beautiful 630. AJ Styles now lies in wait. Not that he's worrying about it. The Phenomenal One responded to Ricochet's post-match speech about the power of belief with a hearty belly laugh backstage. Hearty belly laugh. It's not unreasonable given Styles' own in-ring skill as well as his record against his challenger. But if nothing else, Raw showed that the gap between the two could be slimmer than the champion might care to admit.
Yeah, that was dope too. Amazing gauntlet match. Really smart move having Andrade beat Rey, and because not only do you get the heel heat of him trying to rip Rey's mask off and actually like tearing it mostly in half, but also you get the heel heat of I was really interested to see Ricochet and Rey Mysterio in the ring against each other, and by Andrade beating him, he prevented that, so that was pretty genius too.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's something that probably pleases my cohort. The OC completes the title trifecta with Gallows and Anderson victory.
Yes.
Just 1 month after AJ Styles took them to task for falling short of their potential, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson once again Raw Tag Team Champions. The entire OC has a title around their waist, and the rest of the tag team division is simply struggling to keep up. This includes former champions of Revival, as well as their longtime rivals, the Usos, all of whom were participants in the triple threat match and saw the Good Brothers return to the champion circle. Perhaps sensing the inevitable, the two teams kept the action among themselves until Gallows and Anderson found their way in, stopping their Usos dead in the tracks and banishing the Revival to the apron. Dash Wilder eventually tagged his way in on Anderson, bringing the things back to Usos and the champs. But an outside the ring fracas left everybody down, following the Usos superplex to the floor. But a blind tag by Gallows left both the top guys and the twins none the wiser to the OC status until it was too late. The Revival and the Usos traded splashes and shatter machines. Gallows and Addison made the move and made it count. Allison planted Jay Uso with a spine buster. Jimmy was down with a vicious magic killer, and new champions were crowned. The turnaround is complete. Well,
I want to point one thing out. I'm very happy about this, but I also want to point one thing out. Top guys did not lose those titles. The Usos lost those titles for the top guys. Top guys are still top guys.
The Usos are still the champs, bro. Usos are champions.
No, man. The Usos are the
Usos are the people's. The Usos are the people's champs. I'm sorry, people's tag champs. Yeah.
If by people's champs you mean people's chumps, but bump.
I can't believe he went there, but he did.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Oh man.
No shame.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Yeah. This is amazing, man. Having the OC, like having the club all carry belt is amazing. Like I love it. I love that, especially considering what we'll talk about from SmackDown. But like, amazing work, and I hope that they kind of work towards something for what's it called? For Survivor Series that has the club and the New Day involved.
Faction versus faction. I was just thinking. I was gonna say it before you said it, but I'm just like, let me see if he's in line. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want Survivor Series. I want New Day versus
Whoa.
Some crazy match.
Whoa. What you know about Adam Cole showing up?
Yeah, I was just gonna
with
say,
the Undisputed Era.
They should also bring an Undisputed Era and make it a three-way. Nine-man triple threat tag team elimination match.
Oh man, winner take all.
No, can't do that. It's Survivor Series. No titles are on the line for Survivor Series.
No, there's titles have been on the line for Survivor Series. Not very often.
No, not when it's brand versus brand, because then you lose the belt to the other brand, and that would leave one of the sides. It would leave one of the shows. Actually, it would leave two of the shows without like Raw Tag Team Champions or SmackDown Tag Team Champions, a U.S. title holder or a heavyweight title holder, and the other. So I think that's a step too far. But maybe throw a different stipulation on it where like it's not a regular match. But I don't think any titles can be on the line in that. I don't think it needs it. It puts it too far almost.
You know me. We go there and beyond. Expose the North. Oh man. So while we chewing, the Viking Raiders continue their march on Raw.
Yes.
Last week it seemed.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention versus the very daring Johnny James and Cole Carter. Goddamn jobbers, man.
Hey man, sometimes like
I love it. I love jobbers. I think jobbers are awesome.
It's funny, but like it's sad at the same time to see these guys get obliterated.
Yeah,
it's like
it's good for them. Like it's good for getting their foot in the door for WWE and stuff. So it's a great position.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those funny things where like they go underappreciated for sure.
For sure. Last week, it seemed the Viking Raiders had moved on from locals to more established tandems to conquer as they continue their match through the tag team division. This week, against some Arkansas hopefuls, Eric and Ivar doubled back and once again dismantled the would-be competition. But the bout was hardly a reversal of course. After all, the Raw Tag Team Champions were crowned just minutes before the Raiders began their work. With the landscape shifted, it was a perfect time for Eric and Ivar to remind the field of what they're capable of, and perhaps who the line should start behind. Why is the bigger dude the aerial dude?
Because he's terrifying, dude. He's a scary motherfucker.
320 pounds, this dude is doing fucking springboards? Why are you doing a springboard off the second rope, you big, bulky, brash individual?
Yeah, he's a big beefy bastard and he flies.
Beefy?
Lots of beef. There's a lot of beef on that.
I seen him take this run up the fucking turnbuckle. I'm swearing. I don't usually swear in my podcast, bro. You just made me swear, son.
Yeah,
shit.
I don't want to swear. Gimmick infringement.
Yeah, my bad. I guess my bad. Story craves.
You're right though. It's scary. The fact that guy can do that shit is just like, why are you able to? Why are you the high flyer?
Bro, I look at climbing my stairs sometimes and I'm just like, really? This much work? Jesus? You know what I mean? But running. I watched Fighting with My Family. It's a pretty good movie. You should check it out if you haven't already. And I saw
I do have to get that.
I saw their conditioning regimen, bro. They have to go hard. It's madness.
I mean, you have to, the shape they have to be in to be able to pull this stuff off, 4 to 5 nights a week, every week, all year round, except for, Christmas is insane.
What do you mean except for Christmas? If Christmas falls on a Monday, them motherfuckers is working.
I can't remember. I thought they did something last
Nope, they were working.
year.
It was a Christmas. They were working on Christmas last year.
I thought there was.
No.
No, never mind. It was the live events. They canceled live events for it.
Yeah, there was one.
It's house shows. They don't cancel TV for it, but they cancel house shows.
There was a one time where they almost canceled Raw, but they did a broadcast from headquarters instead because of the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that. All right, pre-show attack by Becky Lynch leads to retaliation from Natalya. I'm so indifferent in this match, bro. I'm juxtaposed. Yeah. I love my Canadian girls, especially the one I'm married to. But like,
with the Natalya Becky match.
Yeah. Yep.
Why? I love it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like the card, but I don't know who I like to win. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
You're not indifferent to the match. You can't decide who you want.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Going into SummerSlam, Becky Lynch seems to have Natalya pegged as some do-gooder cat lady whose claws aren't always sharp enough to scratch her. The man may have read her wrong or may have insulted her one too many times because Natalya looked anything but weak following a painful ambush of the Raw Women's Champion seconds after Lynch concluded her second match of the night in a non-challenge that may yet get accepted anyways. In fairness, the attack was the turnabout against the man, who Alexa Bliss revealed had attacked Natalya before the show, while the arena was still empty via some acquired footage on A Moment of Bliss. Lynch was anything but repentant about the attack. In fact, her bout with Bliss was stopped by the refs when the goddess seemingly injured her ankle, but as a result of Becky's attack. Nikki Cross provoked Lynch to a second match, where the champ ended up in a manhandle slam, at which point Bliss revealed her injury to be a ruse and joined Cross for a two-on-one attack. The Queen of Hearts made a move and drove off Bliss and Cross, but that was basically a bonus. She had come for Becky and got what she came for, wrenching the man into an agonizing sharpshooter that the champion could not escape. During a post-match interview, Natalya intimidated that. Intimidated? Yeah.
Intimidated.
Yeah. During the post-match interview, Natalya intimated that, given the events of the night, she'd like to make the title match at SummerSlam a submission match, pitting the submission sharpshooter against the disarmer. So you can tell I'm just hearing this for the first time. But given that she's sure Becky doesn't have the guts to accept, she won't be issuing the challenge after all. Ooh, buddy.
Ooh, boy.
I like her flair now.
I like that.
Pardon the pun. I like her flair.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm
super amped for this match, especially if they go with the submission match, because that's beautiful. Like it'll be a lot of really good chain wrestling. Like they're both, ring generals. They can both do whatever they want to do in the ring. So it'll be fantastic. And I mean, I can't see Becky losing that belt yet, but like it would be huge for Natalya in Toronto.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
It would be huge.
That's what I'm saying. Like the pop she would get. I know personally, I'd lose my lung. Like I'm gonna be whispering for the next week so I can yell my face out. Straight up. Like, oh man, it's gonna be madness. Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Brock Lesnar strikes in savage fashion during Rollins versus Ziggler. For Seth Rollins, Raw was about righting injustice and getting payback against Dolph Ziggler for humiliating Shawn Michaels last week. A noble quest, to be sure, but the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar looming in the distance, it's hard not to think that the Beast Slayer was focusing on the wrong person, especially since Lesnar came calling on Raw. The Beast picked the perfect moment to strike, too. Between Ziggler's superkick of HBK last week and the theft of the Hall of Famer's entrance on Raw, Rollins was all righteous retribution in defense of the legendary Michaels. That also meant he wasn't remotely ready for the mere possibility of the Conqueror. Lesnar hit the scene and brutalized Rollins with the slightest assist from the show-off, who briefly ensnared Rollins' ankle to leave him helpless against the hard-charging beast. Helpless was the operative word. Brock brutalized his challenger with the German suplexes in and around the ring and 3 F5s onto the back of a steel chair, positioned upright. The third was against the surprising protestation. The third was against the surprising protestation of Paul Heyman, who seemed to think the damage had been done and appeared unable to convince Lesnar to back off. The brutalization continued in the backstage area, where the Beast stopped Rollins' ambulance from leaving the arena, yanked him out of the back, F5'd him against the side of his stretcher, and that's a surprising turn of events, and omnibus sign for SummerSlam. After all, there's always been at least one person who can control Brock. If that governor no longer applies, then Rollins might finally have found one hill he can't climb. But they're making, according to WWE math,
they're making Lesnar look real strong right now. So we can't do the WWE math really until
the week before. I know.
Yeah, until tomorrow night.
We can mark this down as a variable, though.
Yeah, Lesnar's confirmed to be there tomorrow night. I don't know. I wouldn't be entirely surprised, but I would be impressed if they decided to keep Rollins off the show tonight or tomorrow night. I mean, if they decided to do a thing where they had Rollins is not there for the whole night because of the attack last week. That could be a very interesting way to kind of sub the WWE match, because Lesnar technically would be looking stronger there because he, doesn't have to make them, but it also would be building a big build up for a returning Seth after the fight last week. So we'll see. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be able to determine kind of better what we think is going to happen. Then there's always the possibility of swerves.
Oh, there's always a swerve. I just realized, though, with us moving this podcast to Sundays, we're going to be broadcasting just before pay-per-views.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, boy.
And then giving the recap the week after. But that's all good. We can give them the WWE math before they get into the podcast, the show.
Yeah, and we'd be doing the what's it called? It's coming out like a day later than it would normally in comparison to doing the recap anyway. So yeah, I think it all just works out fine anyway.
Yep. Alexander, Usos, OC, and more attacked during Reigns Joe Samoan Summit. If last week taught us anything, it's that two Samoans don't get along in the ring just to talk. Two Samoans don't get into the ring just to talk unless they share the same last name. And given that Samoa Joe declared his Samoan Summit with Roman Reigns canceled due to catastrophic breakdown in peace talks, it was all but given that fists were going to fly. Doubly so that they got a head start with a pre-summit brawl backstage. Even so, Roman and Joe sparked a brawl, the likes of which nobody seemed to anticipate. It began straightforwardly enough, with Reigns and Joe trading blows. Haha, way to go. And Roman even chucked the steel steps right into Joe's face. But when Drew McIntyre emerged to tilt the odds in Joe's favor, a parade of superstars soon joined the fray. Cedric Alexander, McIntyre's rival, came to Reigns' defense when McIntyre seemingly incapacitated the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion by throwing him off the stage. The Usos stormed to their cousin's aid. Their arrival brought out Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson from the OC, and it was Alexander who left everybody down when he scaled the part of the LED board high above the announce desk and cross-bodied off to a pile of humanity below. McIntyre recovered and quickly dragged Alexander back to the ring, only to find the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion had little more left in the tank than anticipated. The OC ran interference, and Reigns did as well. Superman punching both Good Brothers and McIntyre, who Cedric took out for good with a plunge over the top ropes. That left Joe standing alone, and the Bloodline took care of him with a pair of super kicks and a spear to leave Reigns, Alexander, and the Usos standing tall. Considered the summit a success. And that, my pick for the first Survivor Series team. Reigns, the Samoan Summit.
Yeah, Reigns,
the Usos. And I wouldn't be surprised if Alexander stayed with the Clique, and one more.
Well, I think if you're doing it that way, since they're all kind of on the same, well, but are they? I'm trying to think. Samoa Joe is on Raw normally, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because I was gonna say they could have done that if Samoa Joe, the Usos, and Roman were all on the same brand still.
Oh damn.
Then you could have them as a team, but
they're not.
But yeah, Reigns is on
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
And he'll definitely be on Team SmackDown.
Yeah.
And they're looking to, from what I've read, they are working backstage on completely phasing out the wild card rule. So thank you for listening, because I am so sick. I've hated that rule since it came into effect.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like the possibility of seeing someone that I wouldn't otherwise see on the show there, but when it's the same person every week, it kind of takes away from it.
Yeah, well, and when it's every week, the wild card rule shouldn't be something that happens every week if it's a thing. It should only be something that happens randomly and you're surprised by it. Like, it should be a wild card. Like, it should be surprising. But when it's, like you said, the same person and it's every week, it's just like, fuck this. So, I mean, the wild card rule should just be not spoken of, and once in a while, like, you know, literally have months between it happening at all. But once in a while, have a Raw person show up on SmackDown and kick the shit out of somebody or something like that. Like, you know, somebody does an open challenge, and then, you know, a Raw guy comes out for a SmackDown title or something like that. But it loses all meaning when it's so regular.
He doesn't mean that, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a regularly occurring podcast that happens every Sunday called Tough Talks with Thili at the Block.
Well, that's different. Raw means something and it's regular. It's the variable.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just had to, you know, I had to get my 2 cents in there.
No, I'm making sure they get it.
Oh, man. All right, so Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre come to blows after a heated exchange. Kevin Owens kicked off SmackDown Live with one motive in mind: continue to rail against Shane McMahon ahead of their high-stakes SummerSlam matchup. Surprisingly, Drew McIntyre took issue with that. McIntyre rejected KO's hot takes on Shane McMahon, letting KO know that, per a decree from Shane, they had a match tonight, before promptly decking Owens right in the face with the microphone. Drew followed up by chucking KO over the announce table before dropping another piece of news. That match? Yeah, it was next. Kevin Owens defeats Drew McIntyre, you scum bitch. You know what I mean, though? I'm like, any Canadian on the card, I'm rooting for, because that's how we expose the North. That's just what it is.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Kevin
Owens, fresh off their hostile encounter just moments prior, Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre squared off as Drew clearly looked to wear KO down before his SummerSlam clash with Shane McMahon. Gotta stop trying to read so fast. Drew attempted to build his earlier attack on Owens and pound the fearless rebel into submission, but Owens struck back with a relentless metal, coming at McIntyre with everything, including a ring-rattling pop-up powerbomb. Drew bulldozed his way through it all and appeared to be closing on a victory. In the clutch, Drew seemingly looked to slam KO through the announcer's table, but Owens recovered and dropped McIntyre with the stunner on the hardwood and followed up with a subsequent stunner in the ring for the win.
Yeah,
Hashtag for the win.
The stunner is awesome. It's perfect.
Yep. It had to come back somehow.
Exactly.
Who better?
He does it well, and he is killing it in the current run. So yeah, no, I love everything that they're doing with Kevin Owens right now.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, he's got an amazing theme song.
Yep. It's so tough. All right. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeat Bayley and Ember Moon. Despite their upcoming SmackDown Women's Championship match against one another at SummerSlam, Bayley and Ember Moon teamed up on the Blue Brand to take on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Bliss and Cross attempted to use their familiarity with one another to their advantage, preying on the hugger. What did we say about that, bro?
I know.
We spoke about this. Y'all
that.
gotta stop calling her the hugger if you're gonna brand her differently.
Mm-hmm.
And the She-Nom, inexperienced as a unit, but Bayley and Ember were unfazed from the jump. After being steadily beaten down by Bliss and Cross, Bayley finally made a clutch tag to Moon. Ember looked to have the match won when she leveled Cross with the Eclipse, but the Goddess was the legal competitor, and she blindsided Ember with to finish her off with the Twisted Bliss for the 1-2-3. The hits would literally just keep on coming for Moon as the match when Bayley seemingly just wanted to check on her. With SummerSlam perhaps some retribution in mind, however, Bayley turned the favor from last week by dropping Ember with the Bayley to belly. Oh no. Dang.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really interesting thing. She kind of, afterwards, it seemed like she kind of undercut, like, the potential Bayley did, because afterwards she kind of looked into the audience and said, it's okay, like, it's kind of letting people, like, being like, oh, no, I'm not a bad guy, just you know, just an eye for an eye. And I thought that was kind of strange. I was like, you could have kind of built that tension out by just walking out and, like, a little bit of trash talk, maybe. The other weird thing was Ember last week, when Ember hit Bayley with the Eclipse, she did the obviously, like, heel thing, right? But Corey this week or last week, I guess, Corey was defending Bayley the whole time and saying how ungrateful and bad Ember was for doing those things. It's like, wait a second, like, you're the heel, like, so why are you? What's the deal here? You know. But we'll see where they go with that too. I'm interested to see this week's SmackDown because I want to see what they're doing with the Bayley Ember feud.
Yep. I'd like to say I'm gonna watch it, but I might have a practice that night. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna have to get my
watch it on Watch Wrestling Up.Live.
True. Or I could do what everybody else should do and tune into Tough Talks with Thili and the Block.
Boom boom.
Charlotte Flair crashed King's Court and challenged Trish Stratus to a match at SummerSlam.
And Trish Stratus looks amazing still.
Yeah, but her teeth are so white.
Yeah, they are.
Bro, I saw the picture on the WWE app of the picture of her tan compared to her teeth. Her teeth are so white. There's nothing wrong with that, Trish. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with that. She looks fucking spectacular.
Yep. An all Hall of Famers edition of the King's Court went down as Jerry the King Lawler welcomed Trish Stratus to his hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. Stratus seemed thrilled to be back in front of the WWE Universe while admitting that she was itching to get back in the ring. But she also had to think about her responsibilities as a mother. The good vibes were quickly ruined when Charlotte Flair interrupted, paying little mind to Trish's accomplishments and her maternal status, suggesting that Trish was using her motherhood as an excuse before, which drew the ire of the Queen, prompting Flair to tell the WWE Hall of Famer to get out of her ring and go back to changing diapers. The 7-time women's champion, who Charlotte actually is as well, reminded Flair that there would be no trail of Charlotte Blaze these days if it wasn't for the foundation Trish and her peers set during the Attitude Era. And then it happened. Trish accepted the SummerSlam challenge, setting up a bout of two of the most decorated female superstars of all time at the biggest event of the summer, which is going to be happening in Toronto.
Trish is winning this match.
Hands down. Like 6:30.
Trish is definitely winning this match because that is going to be a huge pop when Trish Stratus wins in her hometown.
Oh my gosh! Like I just got the chills thinking about how loud I was going to be, bruh.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see Trish win.
I'm telling you,
she's going to hit a badass Stratusfaction.
I know. I picture Charlotte going for a big boot and her doing the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like.
Here's my pitch. For one night only, they go super Attitude Era with it, and Charlotte versus Trish is a brawn panties mud pit match.
Oh my gosh. Okay, King.
I'm just saying. Hey, yeah, King can be the guest referee.
Oh man, I have to chuckle.
Just saying, bring him back.
Or they could, I don't know, man. Like, I think that's gonna be a good match.
I think it's gonna be an amazing match. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see the thing I was joking about, but you know, I'd almost prefer a regular match, I guess.
Almost prefer a regular. Oh man, this guy's killing me. Oh man, there's people out there agreeing with you. You know, there's people out there. Like, who wouldn't like to see that? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah. Oh man, Dolph Ziggler defeated Finn Balor following a whirlwind. Huh?
I just said Finn Balor.
Following a whirlwind 7 days that saw him superkick Shawn Michaels last week on SmackDown and battle with Seth Rollins on Raw last night, Dolph Ziggler reset as he took on Finn Balor. The two superstars dazzled the WWE Universe with the frenetically paced match, with Balor looking to get himself. Hold on a second. I have to answer this call. Give me a moment. Y'all gonna hear my real life. Yes, Uncle. I'm at my house. Where are you? Okay. Alright, so you're gonna come by after? Where? I can't come out there right now. I'm actually, like, working right now. Okay. Or, like, I'm coming back up next week, so that too, so. Okay, so then come by. Call me before you leave. Okay. Alright, cool. What? Pardon? Oh, it's a CD player and like a digital turntable. No problem. No. I have to pass by your place. Well, I'm going to Whitby on the 14th. 14th, yeah. Yeah. Well, I would if I wasn't in the middle of something. We'll see what's going on. Kind of. You're in Niagara Falls, basically. Okay, I'll call you back. Let me call you back. Okay, yeah. Don't you just love family?
Yeah.
Like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a step into my real life. I actually have, something to bring somewhere, but I'm not in a position where I can do that as yet. So, let's continue where we left off with the whole two superstars dazzle. Yeah.
Yeah, you're at with Balor looking to get himself back on track.
Balor looking to get himself back on track. Okay. And get retribution for HBK, while Ziggler clearly just wanted to hog all the attention. It appeared the extraordinary man was rolling, but then the lights were out, and the Fiend briefly appeared in the entranceway, causing Finn to be distracted for just long enough to give Ziggler an opening to drop him with a super kick for the win. So how come Ziggler's super kick can get a 3 count, but Owens' super kick can't?
I mean, for the same reason that when Kevin used to do the stunner before, he didn't get the 3 count because he didn't kick him in the gut first. It's all about the little variation.
Yeah, the idiosyncrasies, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He has Ziggles right now has the superpower of storytelling, needing to have him win by a super kick.
Okay. Okay. True. Ali defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. Wow. The fight, despite a tough defense to Shinsuke Nakamura during an impromptu Intercontinental Championship match this past Saturday night on the WWE Network Smackville, Ali attempted to right the weekend's wrong by ponying back up against the King of Strong Style tonight. Ali shot out of the gates, bringing his explosive attack right to WWE's Rockstar. Nakamura fired back with a series of blistering strikes to regain control, but Ali evaded the Kinshasa 3 times before catching the Intercontinental Champion off guard with a roll-up for the 1-2-3 in the non-title match.
Yeah, it was, it's exactly what you would expect for this match. It's an amazing match. Both of these guys are incredible in the ring. It's a cool feud, too, so I'm excited to see where they go with this, if they do another title swap at SummerSlam or not.
You never know. Speaking of...
I can see them doing that. He would get a big pop.
Yeah. It would. Okay, Kofi Kingston defeated AJ Styles. I don't even... that must have been a hell of a match.
It was. It was insane.
Roman Reigns narrowly avoids injury on backstage area. With the New Day and the OC overflowing with titles, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston and United States Champion AJ Styles clashed in the main event for SmackDown Live. This champion versus champion match had the WWE Universe on its feet from the jump, and the seesaw affair briefly came to a standstill when the OC and the New Day got too close for comfort and began barking at each other at ringside, leading to an absolute melee. Kofi capped off the chaos by countering the Phenomenal Forearm with an awe-inspiring Trouble in Paradise for the win. Oh, no! Damn!
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Oh, Lee. After the match, Roman Reigns was intending to make a SummerSlam challenge from the backstage area, but the big dog just barely evaded sheer catastrophe when tons of steel beams came plummeting towards him. Thankfully, Roman got back to his feet and seemed unharmed. But was someone responsible for the mysterious occurrence?
The mysterious occurrence, the first thing I'll say is, once again, this was exactly what you expect from the match. Incredible work from Kofi and AJ, and the OC and the New Day going at it outside the ring was all perfectly done as well. The Roman thing was weird. Very, very weird.
Yeah.
He's walking, scaffolding fell on him, blah, 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 blah. Then he just walked away and pushed away some trainers who were trying to check on him. And then, on WWE.com and social media, they posted this thing that was like their findings in the investigation of what happened with the Roman Reigns incident. And they found that it was caused by a forklift driver with something not being attached to it properly. So we'll see where they're going with that. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what Roman Reigns is.
You think they're bringing in
now?
You think they're bringing in a new superstar?
No, I don't think it'll be a new superstar. I think it'll be somebody who's there. Maybe planning that is what Shelton Benjamin has been working on. And maybe that's why he's been laughing so much in those weird fucking segments.
Oh man, yeah, they did that with Mojo Rawley for a bit.
I have no idea who it could be. It could literally be anybody. It could be a new superstar, but I just don't think that's how they're going to introduce somebody new. And there hasn't been even any rumors of a new superstar. Unless Vince saw that video of that 7-foot monster that I sent you that was on NXT.
Oh Jesus, that guy is a monstrosity of a man.
Yeah, he is a massive human being. It's uncomfortable.
Like a standing elbow drop would just be brutal, let alone one from the top rope.
Yeah, it would kill you.
Like you could be halfway across the ring, and he'd be able to still elbow drop you from the top rope.
Yeah, you would have an indent of the shape of his elbow permanently in your chest.
Yeah.
Massive. So, but yeah, so that was Raw SmackDown. What out of like what you caught this week? What did you like? What didn't you like?
What I did like was that it seemed like there was more, like they were using the women better on Raw. They always use them well on SmackDown. They were using them better on SmackDown, but like the talking was actually tying into, you know what I mean? They're tying Canada more into the plot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Big ups to all the Canadians who are doing your thing. Not to say I'm not bigging up everybody in the world doing their thing, but I was born in Canada, so I got to represent, hold down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What I didn't like was the fact that I didn't get to see more of it. So you know what I mean? I'm left to the opinions of others. Like the writing is like second to yours, obviously. So you know what I mean? But yeah. Like for SmackDown.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm with you, man. That's how I felt about it all too. It's all been they're stepping their game up.
Yes.
I thought this week was one of those weeks. Like I thought this week more than any of the past couple, it was super obvious that Paul Heyman was in charge of Raw this week. Like it felt like some Paul Heyman madness, and I loved it.
Yeah. Oh man, Lesnar and Rollins. I saw the F5 to the stretcher. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, and the ones to the chair were even worse.
Ugh.
It was nasty. I don't know if he like bit down in his mouth to make himself bleed the way he was bleeding, or what happened, but he was spitting out a lot of blood in that ring.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if he was spitting out blood, they probably won't have him on.
Then see, and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, you take a week off, like take a week off, come back and do the pay-per-view and kill it. Like, but I just don't know which one they're gonna push for. I don't know which story they're trying to tell here. Because to be honest, I'm not certain yet. I don't know if Rollins is gonna win or we're in for another few months of fucking Brock Lesnar.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least he's appearing on the show.
I mean, he is, but it's the build-up to one of the major four. Usually that is almost all we get from him.
Yeah, and he does get like $125,000 or something like that for each appearance.
Yeah, for 6 appearances throughout the year.
Jesus, Murphy.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to grab at that.
Yeah, no, good for him. He's got like one of the best contracts in history.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
But we don't dare say that to his face.
No, and I would never. I would give him all the props in the world.
Yeah. I say this with the utmost respect. Like, if Hitler was alive, he would praise Lesnar. Tell me I'm wrong right now.
I mean, I don't think he would have a choice.
Like, oh man, you're listening to Tough Talks with Thili and the Block. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, he just throw the tank he just throw the tank across the fucking battle lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Madness.
The Hulk.
Madness.
The World War Hulk.
Yeah. All right, so what's happening in NXT?
NXT, I mean, we've got TakeOver Toronto.
Yeah, buddy.
Up on Saturday. Let me just see here. Let me pull up the card.
That's Toronto, Ontario, Canada. For those of you listening in other places, we're doing things that could damage the elements.
We have.
You ain't facing.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We have Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai. Grudge match after Io went heel on Candice. We have Shayna Baszler defending her women's championship against Mia Yim.
She's still champ? Damn.
Oh, yeah. And Mia Yim is a gangster. Mia Yim is the HBIC.
Okay.
And, yeah, she's hard. Velveteen Dream is defending his North American Championship in a triple threat match against Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong.
Okay.
Yeah, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, are defending the Tag Team Championships against the Undisputed Era.
Oh, boy.
And Adam Cole is defending the NXT Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Johnny Gargano. Johnny Wrestling.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds like such an intense card. But I had to pick one or the other. There was 4 days. The next time they come out here for a weekend, I might be going to all 4, Jenny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to do one day.
Just a heads up, you know what I mean? Like, we need to lobby for another SummerSlam to come to Tirana. You know what I mean? We need to have one pay-per-view a year in Tirana. At least one episode, at least an episode or 2 episodes of Raw or SmackDown in Tirana. You know what I mean? Send NXT down to the Meridian Center again, because, you know what I mean, we could use some of that. We could use some of that, you know what I mean? That's what's up. Yep. What else?
Oh, yeah. If they come back to Meridian Center, I'm going.
For sure.
1,000%.
For sure. This time we should all, link up and, you know what I mean, get tickets to the same section and things.
Big time.
Yeah, Big man. Time. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Lee, all right. So that's your NXT takeover for Tirana. Oh, man. We got, what do we have for New Japan Pro Wrestling? Oh, no, AEW. Sorry. We're going to go with AEW first.
Sure. So, AEW, we don't have too much coming up. A couple little tidbits of news, though. AEW is advertising their new TNT show.
All right.
And they've chose a very interesting place to do some advertising, which is they have bought ad space in front of Hobbs and Shaw screenings. Which, as we all know, is starring The Rock of WWE fame.
Mm-hmm.
So they are advertising in front of Hobbs and Shaw. They're putting commercials on at theaters, which is kind of funny, kind of genius on their part.
That is damn brilliant. That is.
It is. It is goddamn brilliant. The other thing is the debut show for TNT is being held at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., and they sold the show out in hours. So they're continually highly demanded. So they're doing very well for themselves.
They came to play.
Yeah, 100%.
For real.
And then the only other thing is that there's continued rumors and confirmation that there is talks at least from AEW talking to CM Punk trying to get him to join AEW.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil himself, CM Punk, has confirmed that there has been discussion.
Okay, Phil Brooks.
Yep. So all of that stuff's pretty cool. It'd be very interesting to see how good CM Punk still is after, years and years of not doing any pro wrestling.
Getting his ass beat in the octagon.
Getting his ass absolutely destroyed in the octagon.
I'm sorry, Phil Brooks. You were the sickest. He was the sickest on the mic. He was sick wrestler. He held the title for 463 days or some shit like that. Very accredited, you know what I mean? Accredited wrestler. I don't know if he'd be able to pick up my 270 pounds and throw it on his shoulders like that. But you know what I mean? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? He'd have to come back with a force, phenomenal force.
Yeah, he definitely got fucked up in the octagon hard. So it kind of put the damper. But I think if he comes back, he'll probably do very well. I don't think he will come back unless he knows he can do it. At a high level.
Exactly.
We'll see. I'm very interested to see where that goes. But speaking of him in the octagon, yesterday there were ridiculously early fights. So I was very happy that we had moved the podcast to Sunday yesterday because the fight started at noon yesterday, which was insane.
At noon?
Yeah, they started at noon. So the prelims were at noon, and then the main card started at 3 p.m. So I was very drunk by noon 30. But it was a mostly very good night of fights. We're not going to talk about the main event. Nothing to talk about there. There were I think 6 or 7 stoppages throughout the night, which is pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, Claudio Silva won in welterweight. He got a submission 2 minutes and 35 seconds into the first round. Antonina Shevchenko, who people may know as the sister of Valentina Shevchenko, who is the flyweight champion in the women's flyweight champion in UFC. She won her second UFC fight yesterday with a submission in the second round.
Okay.
And then on the main card, there's a couple legends in the co-main event. Clay Guida fought Jim Miller. Jim Miller, if people don't know his story, you should definitely check it out because his story is crazy. He got Lyme disease years ago and had to kind of retire. And he still has Lyme disease because it doesn't go away. Like, it's just something he has to be constantly, like, aware of and vigilant in treating. But he, and it's very hard to do from what it sounds like. But he is now back fighting, and he's won, like, his last 3 or 4 fights since he's come back with Lyme disease. He won first round, 56 seconds into the first round, he got a submission on Clay Guida yesterday.
Damn.
So yeah, that was very, very cool. Nasrat Hapkaras got a knockout in 36 seconds into the second round yesterday at lightweight. That was very, very good. Gerald Meerschaert got submission in the third round, 1 minute and 49 seconds in. Hot Sauce Scott Holtzman got a KO at 5 minutes of the second round, so literally as the buzzer was going off in the second round. Oh, actually, no, sorry, what happened there, I forgot. The reason it says that is because it happened in between rounds. The doctors called the fight off because the guy who's fighting, Donghan Sama, his eye was swollen completely shut. Like, completely shut. He got smashed in his left eye. Really quite badly. Yeah, it was
really
awful.
quite badly. Oh,
But,
shit.
yeah, like, it was bad in the first round, and then he kept getting punched in it more in the second round, and that it didn't make it any better.
Oh, man, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, just I guess should say it, but I don't want to. I won't say who won it, but I will say Robbie Lawler lost in his fight in the main event. The guy who won does not deserve to be mentioned. So, yeah, that was UFC that week.
Wow.
Brutal.
Wow. Now I'm going to have to ask him off the mic who it was because I don't really know.
You can look it up. I won't be talking about that fight ever again in my life.
Oh my God! Because I can look it up. Oh man, you know it's bad when your guru won't even give you the information to you.
Bruh, it's not worth knowing.
Oh man,
It's not worth knowing. But what is cool is coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday is the next UFC pay-per-view, and that is August 17th, UFC 241.
Oh.
Where this fucking card is ridiculously stacked. Like, it's an unbelievable card. The early prelims are okay. There's nothing huge on it. But the prelims, you got Manny Bermudez, who's been around for years, fighting Casey Kenny at bantamweight. Paulina Bodeo fighting Marina Moroz at women's flyweight. Rafael Assunção, he's Brazilian, so the R is not an R. Rafael Assunção versus Corey Sandhagen. That's going to be a great fight. Devontae Smith, who's 10-1 right now,
Okay.
is fighting John Makdessi, who's 17-6, and that's the prelims. The main card is where it gets really fucked up. We got Derek Brunson fighting Ian Heinchik, who is crazy. Gabriel Benitez is fighting Sadiq Yusuf at featherweight. That's an insane fight as well. That Gabriel is 21-6. Sadiq is 9-1, and absolute killer. Then the final three fights might make this like my favorite fight card of this year. Is Yoel Romero,
okay,
my goddamn boy, Yoel Romero, is fighting Paulo Costa. Yoel is 13-3, Paulo is 12-0, and they are both giant fucking middleweights. The co-main event is Anthony Showtime Pettis, who's coming off his victory against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, where he knocked him out with, from my knowledge, is the first and only Superman right hook instead of just a Superman straight punch. He bounced himself off the cage with his foot, jumped up, and did a Superman punch, but with a right hook, and knocked Stephen Wonderboy Thompson out. First time Stephen Thompson had been knocked out across 52 professional fights. Yeah,
Damaging.
And he is fighting the returning Nate Diaz.
Oh, shit, my boy.
Yeah, Nate Diaz is back, finally. He's fighting at welterweight, so this is all at 170. Nate Diaz is 19-11. His last fight, let me just see here. Nate's last fight was 2016, August 20th, 2016. So this is almost 3 years to the date of his last fight, and his last fight was when he lost to Conor McGregor at UFC 202.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, he lost decision, 5-round decision fight to Conor. That was their rematch. They are 1-1 against each other. But then he didn't fight again. He was supposed to fight Dustin Poirier in November of last year, but then he bailed out of the fight at kind of the last minute. And then 2019 is now, this is the first fight he's tried to book this year. Hopefully it works out. It'd be really cool to see Nate Diaz back. I haven't seen him fight in so long. So yeah, that's going to be fucking insane. And then the main event is the big goddamn fight, which is Daniel Cormier, in my opinion, the GOAT, against Stipe Miocic for the rematch for the heavyweight title in the UFC. And that fight is going to be incredible. It's going to be completely different than the last fight, because the last fight was a shockingly short fight, and DC happened to just completely take Stipe's life away from him for a couple minutes. But like this next fight, I think Stipe is gonna kind of come in a little bit more ready.
Saying he's watched the tapes.
Yeah, it's hard to choose who's gonna win. I'm tempted to go with my boy DC because I love DC so much. But I think I'm gonna do it on that fight. I'm gonna do it as last time when they fought, which is I'm not picking until the day of the fight. Okay. Yeah. All right. And I was right last time. I picked the day of the fight, and I picked DC. Hopefully I can use the same mojo this time.
Mojo. Oh man. Oh, if you'd see you see the little dance that I just did when I said mojo. It's a good thing we're off camera. All right. So that's UFC, NJPW, AEW, NXT, and WWE in no particular order, except WWE's first because it's the highest ranked show.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is.
We're not afraid to show where our allegiances are.
You know what I mean? Like, don't worry, I will eventually have one of those titles, even if I have to buy it from concession.
Yeah. Absolutely, I'm getting that IC title. I'm getting that IC title.
I think I'd go.
Yeah, I think. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think I'd go for the world heavyweight.
Yeah, I love that belt too. I don't know. Since I was a kid, I've loved that Intercontinental title with the white strap.
I don't fault you. Still, I don't fault you at all. I think that was one of the first ones I drew because it was on a white paper, a white back, like, so I could just use regular paper and tape it together.
Chintzy kid tricks.
Yeah, man. Life. They call them life hacks nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. All right. So next week is that SummerSlam?
Yeah, a week from today.
A week from today is SummerSlam. And then we got Raw, and I will be at SmackDown Live.
Yep, boom. Yeah,
boom.
It's gonna be awesome. And this Saturday is NXT Takeover.
So Saturday, you got a 4-day. I don't know about you, but on these 4-day weekends, it throws my whole week off. Like it takes me to like Wednesday, Thursday to balance back out.
Yep, I feel ya.
Because there's usually only 2 shows. So then, like, watching the 4, it fast-forwards me, like, 2 days. I don't know. It's messed up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It definitely throws you off.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I got a performance August 9th at Monty's Gastropub. Come check me out there. I perform when I'm not talking about this sports, entertainment, and combat sports. I'm performing on August 10th at Tab's Brew House, 4680 Queen Street, 4680 Queen Street in Niagara Falls. And Monty's Gastropub on August 9th is at 547 Ontario Street in St. Catharines. Come check me out. You know what I mean? I'll be doing a thing.
Yeah.
I have a couple of special. I'll be performing with Zach Burry on the 9th of August, and then Zach Burry will be performing with me on the 10th.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? We kind of flipping the script.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got my ciphers up from the writer's block. You know what I mean? There's so much good happening right now that I gotta be careful talking about it because bad shit happens when too much good happens. So, oh man. So yeah. What's your week entail?
To be honest, not much this week. This week's kind of a low week.
Lucky you.
Yes, very.
Oh man, like I haven't had one of those in almost a month.
Yeah, no, I feel you, brother.
It's daunting, bro. It's daunting. Oh man, but yeah. So this has been another episode of Tough Talks with Thili and the Block. I am the Block.
Yeah.
He's Thili.
Yes, I am.
And then, yeah, that's just another show. Anything left to say?
No, I think that's it for this week. Just I hope everyone has fun for SummerSlam, and then we'll get to you guys next week for it.
Yeah, man, y'all need to start like messaging us and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like we talk live. I think like I should have some CDs and stuff. I wish I had time to print some cards and get them delivered because I would definitely do that and then get the Tough Talks with Thili and the Block. We got promo and marketing to do, but you know what? We got to sit down and talk about how we're going to handle this. This has been another episode of Tough Talks with Thili and the Block. And remember, whoever you are and whoever you be like the 24/7 champion and always stay alert for the 1, 2, 3.